If you bought a luxury SUV in the last few years, there's a good chance you've already lost tens of thousands of dollars on it. And I'm not talking about normal depreciation here. Some of these SUVs have dropped $30,000, $50,000, even over $100,000 in value since 2020. So what went wrong? Automakers got lazy. They slapped premium badges on outdated platforms, ignored reliability problems for years, and charged you six figures for SUVs that couldn't hold their value past the first service appointment. And the worst part? Owners like you are the ones paying for it now. But here's the flip side. If you're shopping for a used luxury SUV, these same losses could work in your favor. Because someone else's financial nightmare might just be your opportunity. Whether you already own one of these or you're thinking about buying one used, you're going to want to hear this. Let's get into it. Number 7. Infiniti QX60. The QX60 was supposed to be Infiniti's answer to the Lexus RX and Acura MDX, a three-row luxury SUV for families who wanted something nicer than a Pathfinder but didn't want to spend BMW money. And on paper, it made sense. Spacious interior, decent tech, and a price tag starting around $44,000. But here's where things went sideways. Under all that leather and cute interior sat the same CVT transmission that plagued Nissan for years. Owners reported shuddering, hesitation, and in some cases, complete transmission failure. And in 2020, Infiniti had to recall certain models for steering knuckle and axle housing issues. The kind of problems that make you wonder what else they missed. Now let's talk numbers. A QX60 that stickered for $49,000 new? One owner picked it up a year later with just 14,000 miles for $29,000. That's $20,000 gone in 12 months. And over 5 years, these SUVs lose around 61% of their value. That's up to $33,000 vanished. The badge said Infiniti, the transmission said Nissan. Number 6. BMW X5. When you buy a BMW, you're buying into a promise. The ultimate driving machine, German precision, engineering excellence, and the X5 was supposed to deliver all of that in a family-friendly package. Performance, practicality, and prestige wrapped into one SUV starting around $60,000 and climbing well past $80,000 for higher trims. But BMW forgot one thing: reliability. The 2020 and 2021 X5 models racked up 11 to 12 NHTSA recalls. Starter system failures left owners stranded. Rear-view cameras blacked out without warning. Brake assist systems failed when you needed them most. And Consumer Reports? They rated the 2020 X5 as less reliable than other vehicles from the same model year. That's not what you expect when you're spending this kind of money. And your wallet feels it twice. Once at the dealer and again when you try to sell. These X5s are losing 56 to 59% of their value over 5 years. On an $80,000 SUV, that's $45,000 gone. One reviewer on Cars.com put it bluntly: ridiculous depreciation the minute you drive off the lot. The badge promised precision. The recalls told a different story. Number 5. Infiniti QX80. The QX80 was Infiniti's flagship, a full-size luxury SUV with a naturally aspirated V8 and a price tag that puts it right next to the Escalade and Navigator. This was supposed to be Infiniti's statement piece, the SUV that proved they could compete with the big boys. But there's a problem when your competitors are releasing fresh designs every few years and you're still running the same platform since 2011. While Cadillac rolled out curved OLED screens and Lincoln updated their interiors, Infiniti gave you the same bones with minor cosmetic tweaks. And buyers noticed. So did their wallets. The 2020 and 2021 models came with fuel pump recalls, and owners across multiple years reported mysterious battery drain issues that left them stranded in their own driveways. Meanwhile, rumors about Infiniti's future as a brand didn't exactly inspire confidence. Now here's what that looks like in dollars. A QX80 that stickered at $90,000? It's fetching around $35,000 today. That's over $55,000 lost. And some owners watched 25% of their value disappear in the first year alone. If you're buying used on a tight budget, this might be a play worth considering. Emphasis on might. Never forget that Infiniti kept the platform. Buyers didn't keep the faith. Number 4. Lincoln Navigator. When Lincoln redesigned the Navigator in 2018, it was supposed to be a comeback. American luxury at its boldest. A twin-turbo V6 under the hood, air suspension for a smooth ride, and an interior that finally felt like it belonged in the same conversation as the Escalade. Prices started around $77,000 and climbed past $114,000 for the fully loaded models. But bold promises don't mean much when your SUV keeps breaking down. On the air suspension system alone, owners report failures that cost up to $2,350 to fix. Rear-view cameras go blank, windshield wiper arms snap off, and there's a low-pressure fuel pump recall from 2021 that still doesn't have a full remedy as of 2026. RepairPal gave the Navigator a reliability rating of just 2.5 out of 5. That's not luxury, that's a liability. One professional driver on the Lincoln forums shared his experience. His 2018 Navigator had a transmission failure at 70,000 miles. Both turbos had to be replaced under warranty. And you know what he did? He bought a 2021 anyway, hoping Ford would eventually get rid of the problems. That's loyalty, but it's also a $65,000 lesson in depreciation. They called it a flagship. Owners called it a money pit. All right, quick pause before we get into the top 3. If any of this is helping you dodge a bad deal or spot a good one, hit subscribe. We break this stuff down every week. Number 3. Cadillac Escalade 2021. This was supposed to be the one. The king of American luxury SUVs, completely redesigned for 2021. GM gave it a 38-inch curved OLED screen, a fresh interior, and all the tech you'd expect from a flagship that costs $77,000 and pushes well past $125,000 fully loaded. The most advanced Escalade ever built. But here's what GM didn't tell you. You weren't buying a finished product. You were beta testing it. The 2021 Escalade racked up 9 NHTSA recalls in its first model year alone. Owners reported lifter rod failures on the 6.2-liter V8, transmission shudder at low speeds, rough shifting, magnetic ride control problems, and in the worst cases, catastrophic engine failure with metal found in the oil. One owner filed an NHTSA complaint in January 2025 describing how their Escalade lost power at 70 miles per hour on the highway. Engine shut off completely. The dealership found metal in the engine, replaced it, and that replacement engine was also defective. They're now on their 3rd engine. And through all of this, these Escalades are losing 55 to 60% of their value. That's $40,000 to $60,000 gone. They didn't buy an Escalade, they funded GM's learning curve. And if you think first-year problems are bad, wait until you see what happens when a brand loses its way entirely. Number 2. Maserati Levante. The Levante was Maserati's big swing, an exotic Italian SUV that will definitely blow your mind once you set your eyes on it. This beautiful machine was supposed to compete with the Porsche Cayenne and Range Rover Sport. Prices started around $74,000 and climbed past $151,000 for the Trofeo. And for Maserati, this SUV wasn't just a product, it was a lifeline for the brand. But then, owners started looking closer, and they didn't like what they found. Under that Italian skin sat parts shared with Jeep and Chrysler. The base V6 models felt underwhelming compared to the competition. Insurance costs averaged over $6,000 a year, and the reliability reputation that followed Maserati for decades, it followed the Levante too. By 2024, Maserati pulled the plug entirely. No successor, no replacement, just gone. Now here's what that means for your money. A 2020 Levante that stickered at $74,000 now has a resale value of around $20,000. Trade-in? About $15,000. One industry analyst put it plainly. A 2019 Levante with an MSRP of $80,000 may only sell for $25,000 to $30,000. That's up to $55,000 lost. The badge said Maserati. The parts inside said otherwise. Now, all of those losses are brutal, but the number 1 SUV on this list makes them look manageable. Number 1. Land Rover Range Rover. The Range Rover, This is the SUV that started it all. British royalty on wheels. For decades, it's been the symbol of luxury, status, and capability. You see one in your rearview mirror and you know whoever's driving it has arrived. Prices start around $92,000 and climb past $250,000 for the long wheelbase SV models. And Land Rover? They delivered record profits in 2024. People are still buying these things brand new. But here's what those new buyers aren't being told. RepairPal gives the Range Rover a reliability rating of 2.0 out of 5. That's 15th out of 19 in its segment. Annual repair costs average $1,250, almost double the industry average. Owners report water leaking through windshields, air suspension failures, and electrical gremlins that never seem to go away. Consumer Reports gave the 2020 Range Rover their lowest predicted reliability score, 1 out of 5. And the recalls keep coming. Seatbelts, fuel pumps, transmission software, the list goes on. Now let's talk about what this does to your money. A 2020 Range Rover has already lost over $37,000 in just 3 years. That's 55% of its value gone. Trade-in offers? As low as $25,000. And over 5 years, you're looking at depreciation between 63 and 64%. On a $150,000 Range Rover, that's close to $100,000 vanished. One owner on the Range Rover's forum tried to trade in his 2016 diesel with 106,000 miles. The offer he got? Just $16,000. He wrote, "I can't believe how crappy the resale value is on these vehicles. I think once I get rid of the Rover, I'll never buy another one. This one has been troublesome." And that's the part that hurts. You pay for the badge, you pay for the prestige, and then you watch it all disappear. Now here's the flip side to all of this. If you're shopping used, every SUV on this list represents an opportunity. Someone else already took the hit, and if you know where to look, their depreciation nightmare becomes your discount. But buying smart means knowing which ones to avoid and which ones are actually worth your money. So if you want to know which SUVs held their value or which ones are secretly great deals right now, subscribe. We're covering that next.